Hi guys, how's it going? As normal programming has officially returned, I thought we should highlight the absolute absurdity of the very organization that have been, let's face it, up until now and well, up until quite recently, vocal in one, their support of the proposed benefits of Brexit, and two, how the big bad evil EU had been taking away our sovereignty. Now, before I begin, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, hitting that notification bell, I would really appreciate it, because without your support, without your views, without your comments, there is really little hope that we can put a stop to this madness. And by the way, nothing would make me happier than to stop making videos, because it would mean the crusade to get this crap to do a U-turn is over. So let's go.
Good Lord, didn't anybody here subscribe?
So, we're going to discuss the absolute absurdity of what is happening in the meat industry. Towards the end of this video, we're going to summarize our conclusions and identify that despite the doom and gloom, there really are benefits to Brexit. But as I know what is at the end, I suggest you stay. Because until then, if only to simply satisfy yourselves that you can forward this video to your friends in those marginal constituencies. I refer to the news today, and this time it's official, that British farmers are exporting their culled pigs to, now wait for this, to Ireland and mainland EU. Now, at first glance, this really does seem to be great news, and if that was the end of the stories, it would indeed be great news. The truth, however, is stranger than fiction, and the prospects for next year are ominous and present an extremely grave picture for the entire industry. So what is happening to the UK farmers? They're exporting their livestock not primarily for resale, but to be processed and then importing the same produce back into the UK. Now, as far as I can make out, the cost of this goes like this. 1, the cost of road transport to the port. 2, the shipping cost from the port. 3, the veterinary clearance certificates. 4, the rules of origin certificates, the cost of overnight working hours for the driver. 5, the clearing and transporting to the processing plant. 6, the return cost of the transport to the port. 7, the clearing of the goods again. 8, the return shipping cost. 9, the veterinary cost. And 10, the rules of origin certs. 11, the clearing again of the processed goods, and 12, the overnight working hours of the driver, followed by 13, the transport to the distribution center. Now let's compare that to what is happening. We had 1, the delivery to the processing plant, 2, the delivery to the distribution centers. That was it. However, even with all those obstacles, and before you guys jump down my throat, as I'm sure you would have every right to do, let me tell you of the silver lining at the edge of this storm cloud. And believe me, there really is a bright and sparkling silver lining. And there is not a possibility in hell that this silver lining could have been even contemplated if it wasn't for Brexit. You see, despite the complexities of the new process, the fact is that UK farmers have still managed to drive down the price to the consumers, which, let's face it, is awesome. But more about this quirky miracle has been achieved. How that's been achieved, we'll go through it later. Okay? Everything I have said here is accurate. Everything I have said is backed up. I have not used the Express, Telegraph, or any other form of toilet paper as a source of factual reporting. I have used the Financial Times. I have used the Farmers Journal. I have used the British Meat Processors Association CEO Nick Allen. And finally, I'm using some common sense. But I thought we should also refer to the website that is published on the very same day that exports to the US for UK pork has surged upwards by 10%. Well, now there's great news, fantastic news. We can't beat that Brexit drum now, because according to Pig World, this occurred because of the 25% tariff drop on red meat. Now, after all, 25% tariff is not too shabby. Of course, when one looks at it clearly, one can see that the journalist that wrote this garbage is obviously in a very happy place, or Ian Hoey's journalistic integrity must be called into question, because the increase in sales to the US is worth a massive, are you sitting down for this now, guys? Massive 1.4 million a year. But don't worry, there's room for improvement. When the industry picks up again and the world economy gets back on track, we can fully, or at least hopefully, get things back to normal. Normal programming will return. This will mean a further increase that is so small, it's not even worth mentioning. And even that figure is dependent on the farmer's ability to hold things together, which we will now reveal is completely impossible. That being said, however, there will be significant advantages for both pro-Brexit and anti-Brexit supporters. Now I know what you're thinking. You were thinking that I'm taking some of those happy pills as well, or maybe spending too much time picking wild mushrooms while watching magic shows. Well, I'm not. Let me explain. The consumers will benefit from this will be in the EU, not in the UK. How? Why? Let me tell you. It's quite simple. UK farmers have to dispose of the pigs carefully. They cannot simply bury them in the ground. They cannot send them to the processing plants in the UK because they're full. So they are sending them currently to Ireland. Now think about this for a minute. The farmers have zero choice but to get rid of the pigs before the pigs eat them out of house and home. Okay? The processing plants know this in Ireland, and they are offering them just pennies in the pound to solve the farmer's problems. If the farmer doesn't agree, he has two choices: kill the pigs and bury them and risk prosecution, or starve them to death and risk prosecution. Either way, the farmer has to get rid of his stock, and if he doesn't export them, he risks prosecution. But it's going to get worse. Okay? You see, if the animals are not in good health, they will most likely face problems at the inspection points. So they have to do it now and do it as fast as possible. So the Irish market has a massive glut of pig meat and has driven the prices down for Irish consumers. The same, however, cannot be said for UK consumers, as they still have to bear the extra and very significant extra charges to repatriate what produce there is left and get it to the forks on the UK dining tables. But you may well say, are you finished? Well, hell no, I am only getting warmed up here. Call yourself a bird man. Oops, actually, that's the wrong movie. The farmer is faced with extremely stark choices. In fact, there will be many families gathered around the Christmas table this year with the weight of the world resting squarely on the shoulders of many parents, and it's quite upsetting. I mean, what do you think those pig farmers can do? They've invested heavily in facilities. They've invested heavily in facilities just even for special feeding positions or containers, call it what you will, special housing for the animals. They've built up cost of vets, they've built up cost of feed, along with the capex for providing more hygienic conditions for their livestock. And now they sit at that Christmas table knowing that the pigs they did manage to sell have been sold at a loss. But what's even worse is that they know that the government is not capable of fixing the problem. But here's even more silver lining. Unfortunately, it's not for the UK voters. The opportunity is for the EU farmers, because they know that the pig farmers in the UK will be dealt a severe blow, and EU farmers can just swoop in, save the day, and take the money. Thanks for watching. See you on the flip side. Take care.